Hello
Shall we
Dubai,
walk? Let's
hello
do it.
Sharjah. Welcome to another episode of Walk In. This morning, we will talk about financial literacy, more about the money. So I decided to invite somebody who is expert when it comes to advising on finance. And I'm talking about none other than Mr. Nathan McFarlane from Filpera.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good morning.
Morning, mate. How
Thank
are
you for waking up early in the morning.
Got my coffee.
Saturday. All right. We had a chat last week about financial situations of many expats here in the UAE. Most of the people here are trapped by loan sharks, by many financial mess.
Yeah,
basically.
correct. Yeah, it's kind of the reason why I started my company in the first place, is that the majority of my friends were Filipino, and I found that their knowledge of financial literacy was well below par in comparison to what I was used to in the UK. And obviously, as an advisor here, I'd seen all the good things about the industry and all the bad things about the industry. And with the OFW market, unfortunately, all I saw was all the bad things about the industry. Because the industry itself, financials, whether it be insurance, whether it be property, whether it be banking, whatever it is, it's all here in the UAE. It's all driven by commission. Which is not necessarily the best thing, because it drives greed from sales advisors. For example, if you've got an insurance broker who is paid just commission only, then if he has to get a deal to put food on his family's table, he's going to try and get that deal, right?
Of course.
So what that leads to in the Filipino market is people being misadvised, being drawn into products with high commissions, very sales-driven environment, which is they make the sale, they sell the policy or the property or whatever it may be, and then you don't hear from them again.
True. It's just like a typical sales scenario wherein after buying something, you don't hear that.
Exactly. And I always use the example when, let's just use this example, this coffee, right? When we walked into Tim Hortons a minute ago, we purchased the coffee, you drink the coffee, right? But when you purchase an insurance policy or you purchase a property, that's not just that there done straight away.
Exactly.
You could have an insurance policy for 10, 15 years. You could have a property for 5, 10, 15 years. You need it rented out. You need to ensure you're given the right advice. So what we aim to do is to change all that and make the industry a service-based industry. And everyone always says, why is it a British guy running a Filipino financial advisor?
Exactly. Because I was about to ask that.
But that's because this is the norm in the UK. So for me, I'm like, why are these people getting ripped off? And it's not necessarily the sales advisor's fault, because they're just built into a system. So if you want to get results, to get the best for the Filipino market, you need to educate them, and you need to change a system which is driven by service, not sales.
It's about relationships, because it's going to be a long-term relationships. Once you engage yourself with financial advisor, assisting them in their insurance and their properties, there should be long-term relationships after that.
Exactly. The goal of my company is not about an initial sale. It's about taking a generation of OFWs back to the Philippines financially successful. So to give you an idea, to get financially successful, you're not just going to get that by buying a property or getting insurance or buying a stock. It's an ongoing process. No one becomes rich overnight. There's no such thing as a get-rich-quick scheme, which again is something else a lot of Filipinos fall into the prey of. So the goal for us is to create a service-driven environment, which is about looking after you on the whole journey whilst you're here. I'm the only person in the company that isn't Filipino, but my job is to project a vision onto my guys and make them understand what good financial advice is, and how services, and they get paid salaries, not commissions, to do right by their clients. There's no incentive for them to just sell. There's an incentive for them to look after you for a long period of time, because that's how they increase their salaries. So it's changing the whole model and changing it for the better, in my opinion.
Nathan, if you could impart one character attitude from the British mindset or thinking process about the financial landscape, what would it be?
You don't get rich quick.
You don't get rich quick.
It doesn't come overnight. I think is the main one. I wouldn't necessarily. It's a British mindset, but we in the UAE. I think you were saying earlier. What are the issues that Filipinos come across, and debt is massive one of them. A lot of loans, credit cards.
Right.
It's so hot, isn't it?
It is.
It's crazy. I'm like sweating already. Look at this.
8 in the morning, and we're sweating.
I should have worn a t-shirt. Loans and credit cards are a real big problem here.
Yes.
So what we've set up is a debt management consultancy to help Filipinos restructure debt. Because let's be honest, if we talk about insurance, we talk about properties, we talk about condos. Well, there's no good if trying to get yourself sold into an insurance policy or buying a condo if you're in a ton of debt.
Yeah.
So you have to start there. So that's something else that we've been working on meticulously to ensure that the OFW community here has a solution through Filpera for everything.
Yes. That's very nice, and we feel privileged that somebody outside the Filipino community who sees the problem is willing to address these things. Aside from that you've been repeating from the beginning, is there any particular behavior that you see among Filipino communities, financial behavior, that you think needs to change?
The spending attitude, right? The gadgets.
For some reasons here in the UAE, Filipinos are among the top community with the purchasing power here. Yeah. Which is, I feel it's ironic because we are here in order to save money, to send money to the Philippines. Yeah, exactly. And then we're there on top. Yeah, well, the ironic thing is you know how to be economical with your day-to-days. From my perspective, I know my friends when they first come here, they'll go and spend 5,000 dirhams, like over half of their salary on a room in the marina. But there's no way a Filipino is going to do that. They're a lot more logical with those steps of thinking. But then spending their money on gadgets, on the latest iPhone, and then getting themselves, and because of the lack of financial knowledge, getting themselves in debt from spending too much. So if we can change that mindset slightly to understand that, let's think about the number one reason why you all came. When you left Naia and you came to Dubai, you came with a dream. The initial dream is to help your family, to send money back home, to look after them. But the real dream beyond that, and this is what is lost, is you came here to create a better future for yourself, so that when you go back to the Philippines, you can live the life that you always wanted to live. Exactly. Maybe you just want a small business when you get there, but the bulk of your financial living has already been put in place from your time here. But that's the big thing that's not happening. And as I said before, Filpera's goal is to change the mindset of a generation, so that a generation of OFWs do go back in that position. Because a lot of the past generation, like our father's kind of generation, went back, but not successful, with nothing. And they don't want to repeat the cycle. Exactly. I think the common thing which a lot of my clients and Filpera's clients say is they don't want to be in the same cycle where they are a burden to their children. By coming to Dubai, by coming to the UAE, you want to get out of that cycle so that you can self-sustain yourself in your retirement. Right. You're supporting your parents or relatives, and you're supporting your children as well. So Exactly. So what can Filpera do to help address these issues to the Filipino community? Tell me about the idea is that we are the one-stop shop for overseas Filipino finance. So that could be anything from consolidating your debts. It could be insurance. It could be property. It could be children's education. It could be retirement planning. You might want to know more about SSS. You might want to know more about Pagi Big. I got pronunciation right there. Whatever it is to do with your financial standpoint, your financial portfolio, we're here to give you advice. The key thing we remember is that it's free advice. Free advice. So the idea and the way we structure is we're kind of like a broker of brokers, so that we simply advise to
the right thing that you need, so you know that you're getting an unbiased approach. Our goal is to look at things holistically,
yes,
understand what needs to be done, and then put you in the right direction with the right product or service.
Right, and it doesn't matter if you're looking into investing into the Philippines or anywhere.
And from an international standpoint, something I'm really passionate about is that OFWs, the moment they step out of the Philippines and they're here, just for example, you are just as British as I am.
Really?
I am just as Filipino as you. But the point I'm getting at is that you have access to everything I have access to.
Exactly.
So why would you look so inward? The greatest thing about the Filipino community is its community presence, the way that you stand together.
Yep.
But if you look so inwards, you're missing everything on the outside.
Completely agree on that. Yes.
You know, so for you guys, you have access to so many things that necessarily you wouldn't before. But again, you need to be educated on that. If you don't know it, how do you expect that to be able to take advantage of it?
Exactly. It's good to be intimate within our community, but we are already here in the global stage, so why not take advantage of this opportunity? That's what Nathan McFarlane
exactly. Exactly that. So it could you could be investing in the Philippines, it could be investing elsewhere in the world, but yes, wherever it may be.
No limits.
No limits at all.
Right. I made a British sweat out in the.
I'm so dripping like that.
Yes, I am sorry about it. Sorry. Thank you so much, Nathan, for sharing
Pleasure.
your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, this has been another Story to Tell. My name is Ian Gonzaga, Boy Dubai, Nathan Filpera. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.